Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Safe Space. I'm your host, Chief Etcher, and I have a very special guest in the house, all the way from Kubwa, Abuja, the whole of Idoma land. My friend, my brother, we have the same birthdays. EB, Ali, Ameh, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate the honor. I appreciate the introduction. Man, how you doing
Yes, sir.
today?
I'm doing good, bro. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. The dog is here walking up and down, trying to get
I
me to
see,
take him out.
I see that. I see that. Yo, man, thank you for thank you for coming on the show today. Means a lot to me, bro. I know you are a super busy person, and thank you for taking this time
Oh, yeah,
to have
man.
this call. I
Of,
appreciate that.
of course, bro.
Yeah, so bro, normally, man, this is a place, a platform where I bring on people who I have ties with, people who I think and believe that have good moral standings, and also have achieved a great deal of success on our journeys and on our transition from Africa, and this is just a place where you could talk about your experiences, man, and shed more light on your personal experiences and how it could also help motivate and inspire somebody out there, because I noticed that people, especially men, don't have a safe space to really talk about their emotions or share their experiences without shame or feeling guilty. So I'll be asking you some topics that we will be touching upon and diving deep into. Okay, and you just I don't know, see how you relate to that first.
I got you. Yeah,
All right,
man. I'm really excited. I appreciate
yes, sir. Let's get it. Let's get it. So the first topic is no one is really going to help you or give you direction. In fact, the odds are stacked against you. What do you think about that? How do you
Man,
relate to that?
honestly, I can relate to that on a very personal level. And I feel like the first way to tackle this or to talk about this is in this life, nobody gives a fuck. That's just plain, like that's the plain truth. There's no sugarcoating. There's no sweet way to say this. There's no better way to say this. But really, nobody gives a shit. Whatever you do, whatever you think you've done, you have to do better every day. And this is not just the race to success or the race to power and money, but just in anything you do, in everything you do. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your tragedy. Nobody cares about any of that stuff. But once you go into different endeavors or different parts of life with that mindset, you'll find out that people that really care or people that will eventually care will come along the way. But through the bruises and through the heartache of like seeing somebody and or going into something with somebody and being like, okay, yeah, this is how it's gonna be or whatever, you would you'll be able to learn. You'll be able to have learned that like nobody cares about how you've lived your life. Or I don't know if I'm making sense here. If I'm just rambling
Yo, yeah,
on.
yo,
It's like the lessons you learn from going into situations with the idea that nobody cares. I just have to work hard and I just have to do it until they care enough. You'll find out that yeah, you're actually going to be on top if you know that and if you go into situations with that mindset.
mm,
That I feel like that's that one catalyst to being successful or to attacking this game of life that people don't like to think about that too much. They just I don't know.
man. That's crazy that you say that because the funny part about this whole thing, right, is the fact that there are people who are out there that are entitled, that think that the world owes them something, you know? And I just don't understand it. And like also like people don't talk about the hard work that you've put in to get to a certain place
Right.
in your life, you know? And when they see you living your life and living that lifestyle, people go, "Oh, you don't deserve that. I do," you know. And like, and actually, like, some people can be bold enough to tell you to your face that they don't respect what you've done because you did it this way and not that way, the way that they wanted.
Right.
You feel me? And like, just it just gets me thinking because like, how does you, how does me not doing what you told me to do or me not living how you expected me to
Mhm.
live? But like that doesn't bother me, bro. Like that's not my business. Like that's your concern. Like that's your problem, really. You know?
It's all that, yeah, just like you said, entitlement, right? All that comes with entitlement. Like everybody always thinks say they know what you supposed to do. Like I don't know, that's pigeon for those of you that don't know about pigeon.
Yep, yep. We're
Um,
gonna be adding some pigeon into this too.
right,
Most
yeah, for
definitely.
the nation. But certain people have the expectations, and that comes from a place of entitlement. They also
Hmm.
have expectations that actually believe that somebody's supposed. If you don't believe that what you think about someone is what they should do, or what your idea of what the decision should be is what it should actually be. If you think like that, and truly you think like that, and it's not like you're in a relationship with this person where you guys have like have made vows to each other or whatever. If you think like that, you think people should do what you want them to do just because, not because they see some truth to it. That's entitlement.
Mm,
So yeah, I think I
that's
think
attachment.
I think a
And
lot
you
of
know,
people are entitled to that level.
a lot of people. And the crazy part about that whole thing that you just said, right, is the fact that, bro, literally, people have made this idea of who they think you should be in their head.
Hmm.
And the moment you're not living up to that idea, you are a bad person in their book.
Right?
And guess what? This can also be family too.
Yeah.
Family,
It's
friends,
everybody.
everybody, man. And like a person can be mad because you're not living your life the way that
they
they want you to.
yeah.
Like that's something like that's a serious thing. And it's really common in Africans.
It
You
is.
know, because I feel like for us, because I'm always going to talk from my own personal experiences, right? Coming out here, the perception of this country back home is that America is, you know, the, the land of milk and honey. You know, for real though,
Mhm.
real talk. Most Africans believe that once you've crossed sea, once you've crossed the ocean and come to
On
America,
this way.
man, you should not be suffering. You should not be struggling. Under no circumstances should you. You understand? Like
Right.
they say, "Omo, since you don't cross come this country, nothing, everything they good,
It's supposed good.
everything sweet
Supposed
now.
smooth. Like
Yeah, everything smooth. You understand? But like, bro, the only people who think that way are rigid people who are closed minded. Because guess what? If you are experienced enough and if you understand the trials, the tribulations, and the seasons of life, you are gonna understand that everything that glitters is not gold. But once again, oh, Yankee be like that apple where you say God doesn't make you no chop.
right.
But also, it can still be like that secret code for night where you say if you know go, you know go know what you talk about.
Just say talk about right.
You understand? So yeah, like you gotta be here to know what's going on here. So
Mhm.
I don't blame them for how they think, but it just I mean it just gets to me, man, sometimes. Really.
That's true, man. It's true. It's like They think. I mean, here too in the US, there's expectations from. It's everywhere. It's like so much expectations. But I get what you're saying with like with people from home. It's almost like they have this perception. We all had the perception. Honestly, we did. Growing up as a kid, hearing about like friends and all family that lived in the U.S. here,
Right,
it
right.
was. It seemed like they got to this point and they were able to do this thing, but the truth of the matter is, it's just the same thing. It's not the same struggle. It's not quite the same struggle, but it's still struggle. It's struggle coming here and one, even trying to just exist on the day to day. Two, if we start going into things like culture shock, that's another different case entirely. But that relates both ways. But
Mhm.
truly, it's such an eye opener. Like realizing that just coming here is not where it ends. It's not just coming here. It's there's actually all that shit that goes into coming here and living
There's
here.
still work to be done.
Yeah,
Like a lot of work.
yeah, so much.
Yeah, man. So that's our first topic, right? The second topic is the most important aspect of my life right now, which I'm grateful for God for opening my eyes to know how to handle it better. The older I get, and I'm talking about relationships. You know, there was this quote I saw, and I just want to talk about it. It says, I mean, we all know this famous quote that says, "Success is never owned; it's rented, and the rent is due every day." Right. So now, check this quote out. This new one: relationship success is never owned; it is rented, and the rent is due every day. What do you think about that?
Yes, these are interesting. These are deep, deep topics, and I like it. I like it because I feel like that's what safe space is about. It's about talking about those things that you won't really talk about on your day to day, but
Right,
things
right.
you sit down and really think about. You know,
Really think about. Yep, yep.
that's that. I feel like that's the realest shit. It's not just it's not just about the surface level. It has to. I feel like life is deep, so we have to think deep.
It is deep. Yeah,
And that's
it's
what this.
substance.
That's the beauty of this. I think.
Yeah. Appreciate you for that, man.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course. Yeah. I think that the way I'm sorry, I'm thinking I also just got an email.
Take
So
your time, man. Take your time.
I'm thinking for a second. I'm trying to figure out how to structure my wording. I'm trying to figure out how to structure it. Can you give me a little bit? You say something and give me a little bit, but maybe by then I would have gathered my thoughts together. I had a brief
Okay,
plan.
so personally, like when I was younger and immature, I mean, to some degree, I still think I still am because we grew every day. When I didn't know any better about relationships, man, I handled it kind of childish because I never used to want to give people a chance, or I never wanted to like hear or fix anything with anybody. Once my ego was hurt or my pride was bruised, I just always leave. I don't want to fix nothing. But the older I get, the older I got, and life kept happening to me, man. I, and then I just realized that life and just everything around us in general, right? It relies on relationships, and it really, really gets me thinking because there's this famous saying by Esther Perel that goes, the quality of our relationships determine the quality of our lives. And that's really true because if you like, you can't live a life alone, man. You feel me? We need people to survive.
We
We
do.
need people to thrive.
Right, as a species alone,
Yeah.
on the biological level, we do.
And if you cannot hold or hang on to relationships or have meaningful relationships around your life, I don't think you can ever reach the apex of your potential as a human. That's just what I think personally.
I feel that.
Did that help? You know?
That's yes, yes, yes. That definitely helped. I feel like yes, in life it's you have to surround yourself. You have to surround yourself with tools, people, wherever you can, whatever you can. The way a relationship works, in my mind, relationships, friendships, intimate relationships, mentor mentee relationships, all kinds of relationships. The way it works is it's going to be a two-way street. There's going to be some giving, there's going to be some receiving. When it starts getting one-sided, where one person is giving more,
Carry the
is
load.
carrying the load, they'll start to notice. Even when it seems like their role is in the relationship is to give or is to receive. Somebody will notice something somewhere, and then that's where you can start having friction. If you don't speak about it or anything like that, you start having friction. But I think everybody, each and every one of us, should at least strive to find those people in our lives that we can subjectively, we can objectively look at and say, okay, this person is actually a really positive person, and this person is going to add X, Y, Z to my life and to the people around them. You know, I feel like we should we should strive for that at least. I know we don't pick and choose our family, but it's beyond just seeing things from one side.
Mm.
It's
It's
beyond
being open minded.
being open minded. Thank you. At
Being
the end of the day, it's just about being open minded. Just because you see something and you grew up around something and it's that way doesn't mean it's 100% that way. It doesn't mean it should be that.
right.
You know, if you grew up around a racist person, should you be racist because you grew up around that? Hell no. You
Yeah.
know, you should be able to think objectively and just look at shit for what it is and pick out what should be real and what should not be real.
Mm. Mm.
But
Man.
I guess I also get to say that because I came from one side of the world, I'm living in another side of the world, so I can see.
Hey, man. Honestly, man, that's the perfect thing to say because I can perfectly relate because we both almost have the same similar journey, bro.
Yeah,
Coming from Joss, man, and seeing the world from where I am right now is two different places. But at the same time, there are lessons from both sides that have helped me stay grounded. Like there are things that happen along the way that I'm like, oh, I've seen something like this before.
yeah,
So like it has helped me to just keep my cool and not just lose my mind. You feel me? And but about relationships, what I will say is that you have to know how to be in like you have to know how to keep relationships. You feel me? Because relationships are very hard, but at the same time they are worth keeping and they are worth fighting for if you know what you're doing.
true.
If you know what you're doing, if you are self-aware enough to understand that it's a give and take, first of all. Because if you don't understand that, you're gonna give, and you're gonna
Yeah,
get depleted, man. But you have to understand first that it's a it's give and take,
it's even
not
thick.
not give and take in, let's say, in a transactional way,
Yeah,
but like give and take. Like, let's say you have to be.
but is it or is it not in a transactional way? That because that's another thing. If you giving and taking is usually transactional, or giving and receiving, or is it giving and receiving?
Yeah,
Yeah, giving and receiving
you're gonna.
it's kind of a transaction. If one side is receiving more, like significantly more, and it's just blatant and it's clearly more, then that's a bad transaction.
So hold up. So hold up. How about in a situation of love, intimate romantic relationships where so like are those give and takes too? Because like I don't understand because most in most relationships, the man is looking for a woman that can love him unconditionally. You feel me? And the woman also could be looking for almost the same thing, or if not the same thing. So in that situation, is it transactional? Because couples hate hearing that word transactional. Because
Yes.
like they hate it. Personally, I hate hearing because that word is just like, oh, you like this person is just using me, it's using me, and I feel used. But is it though? Is it?
I don't
I
I
love
don't think if so when it
relationship.
comes to like love, right? Okay, I think I take that back. When it comes to love, love isn't transactional. Sometimes in some relationships, it's not always 50-50 every time with the way like with the way I guess the way the relationship works. I'm talking about from the perspective of like living with a partner, like living with your partner, like on your
Okay.
everyday. It's not
Yeah.
always 50-50 at every time. Sometimes one person goes 60, the other person goes 40, and then it goes. What I mean is it should never be like 60-40 and just stay that way. Like that for like hella long. It usually fluctuates. Usually goes 60, 40, 30, 70. You know, it goes like that. So something with, for example, a relationship like love, like intimacy. I think intimacy is very deep. It's if you're with somebody and you're with somebody for real, then that person becomes an extension of you.
Mm.
Then you start thinking your plans start including that person. Then whatever decisions you make, you start asking for that person's opinion. If you're really real with somebody like that, then it's not a transaction.
Wow. I love your answer,
Yeah.
but
Thank you.
it strikes another question in my mind because you just said love. So, are you saying my regular relationships with friends cannot be? It could that could also be love. I could love my friend,
Yes, you could love your
and,
friend.
and so does that mean that our other relationships that are not our romantic relationships cannot be sometimes 40, sometimes 60, sometimes it can be that?
It could be that. And
That's
that's the
fine.
thing. As long as it doesn't stay one side.
Mm.
The one side thing and just like it's stagnant. The stagnance is that a word? If it's stagnant
Yeah,
one side like
thank
that,
you. That's the word.
it won't work. Because then one person notices, oh shit, this motherfucker doesn't hit me up unless they need something.
Mm.
So then if they're on the underside of always giving to the one that's always asking, you start that's what will lead to friction and that's what will lead to like losing a friendship or a relationship.
Ah,
But if it goes like this, like say for example, you and I, we don't speak every single day, but we talk pretty often, like pretty frequently now, at
yeah.
least. And we know what it is because like say 4 years ago we weren't like talking every day, right? But
Mhm.
when you hit me up, I knew what it was. I knew it was love. I knew you just like life gets in our way. And then
Yeah.
you hit me up and I'll hit you up another time and you hit me up and I'll hit you up. That's the way it goes. Another thing with that too is I personally I value that a lot in like any relationship. We don't have to talk we don't have to talk every day, but when we talk to each other, it's love. We catch up like we just saw each other. You know those
Yeah.
kinds of friendships. Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah,
I
man. I
I really
understand that.
value that, and I feel like unless something unless something really crazy is going on with life, which is something you also do with somebody you're that close to. If you're that close to somebody to where you understand each other, when something is going on in life, I feel like you should talk to your friends. Like if you have a friend like that, you should talk to them. You should tell them because one thing that happens a lot that people don't like to talk about or dig into. Everybody says, "Oh yes, you should always check on your friends. And should always do this and should always do that." But when it comes one sided for so long that you're the one that's always reaching and they don't reach back to you, you start feeling some type of animosity towards them. And
Wow.
sometimes they won't even know you're feeling that way. They'll just feel like, oh, you should be hitting them up. And that's when a relationship gets toxic. But most people will say, oh, well, you should just keep hitting them up. You don't know if they're having a bad day or you don't know if something happened.
I'm having a
Well,
bad.
you know, right? I'm having a bad day.
I'm having a
Just as
bad day.
they're having a bad day, I'm having a bad day. So I feel like that's how life really works. Like it's like that's how the wheel really turns. It's not by looking at one person and being like, okay, we're only gonna focus on this person's problems the whole time. No.
Mm.
It's your problems and then someone else's problems and then someone if it's a circle of friends, that's how it works. Or that's how it should work.
That's
If
how it
it's
should work.
if it's two friends, if it's whatever it is, whatever, even if it's not friends, if it's family,
Yeah.
that's how it works. It's that's how the wheel keeps turning. It's not by, oh, I'm going through this and it's me going through this and just me, because you don't know what the other person might just be checking on you. But hey, Mambo, that's
Hey, yo, man, look,
Mambo.
that's crazy because sometimes, man, just because we carry it well, people think that we are okay. They don't
Right,
know that
because you carry it
also
well, people think you're
we
okay.
need help too. Yeah.
It's just man, like I don't know. It's yeah, it's one of those things that's a touchy subject, and nobody wants to talk about it.
Nobody wants to talk about it, bro. I'm telling you, I have friends from back home right now that they, like we don't speak because they expect me to reach out first.
Man,
You know, like
don't be so
yeah,
life
man.
day. Don't be so you supposed
Don't
this.
be so don't be so supposed day, bro. Like as in
Like,
I get niggas from back home
mhm.
where be say, yo, me and these niggas was fucking boys back home. But just because I'm out here, this like people think your boy, he don't make camp, he don't forget us. Nah, bro. Like I'm going through my own shit.
Going
Like,
through my
bro,
own shit. It's a
everybody
race. We're
everybody
all
look,
running.
everybody go through their own personal
Mm-hmm.
journey, bro. Like, yo, now you get you last. You
Fact.
get me? But at the same time, I'm not saying that it's fuck you. That's not what I'm
No,
saying.
no, it's not
I'm
that.
saying that I'm doing my thing to
Mm-hmm.
get to where I want to get to. You are doing your thing.
Mm-hmm.
But let's make all of us understand,
Oh,
say
let's not say yeah.
we don't grow now. Maybe when all be boys for
Right.
area. You understand? Times don't change. Like, bro, now you got the responsible, bro. Some niggas say they don't even get kids. Don't marry. Like, bro, things they go by, man. As in, you guys, nobody say people don't want to follow you, talk, but that kind people get live and bills and shit
Mm.
problems. They say the guy handle. They say
So
nothing to do with you.
right, nothing to do with you
Nothing to do
at
with you.
all, at all. But yeah,
Yeah,
now the points be that why now why we say like
you
when you
tire
get
me.
cool with person like when you have somebody like that you're cool with and that you can talk to about life and shit. That's why that's why you like if me and you now if something happened with me I'll tell you say oh boy man Chris would this happen. So if I tell you like that, if say
Yeah,
in 1 week or 2 weeks, and if I hit you up, you go remember say last time when we talked, I tell you say something happened. Because
yeah,
now the regard for my own problems will potentially come up with that. But once all of us as people, as friends and family and all of that, once we realize say, okay, now so life day, like life could throw these curveballs at you. You know if you tell like if you get problem with something today, right? Maybe say I don't know. I know if he, I go still they reach out to you and they check on you, right?
yeah.
But if you find out in time, right? We say if you tell me someone this thing happen, I go no say I go no say okay now waiting they happen with this. Like now, you get reason why XYZ they happen. Or you get reason why
All right.
XYZ know they happen.
Communication be that
Thank
communication.
you.
You understand? Like, but like people don't know it as in, people don't know what in them don't know.
Right.
You guys go out of your comfort zone to communicate with you yourself if they pass through.
Yeah.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
As in, I know if you just get say things hard for you if you don't tell me how hard it is. You understand?
Yeah.
Like you have to be also understanding, man, on this journey because it's
True.
not just all about you.
It's not just all about
It's not
now
just all
the
about
main
you.
thing
Like
be
as
that,
in
bro.
people too. Look, I'm telling you, man.
that he made
Forget
me
say
that.
Yankee outside Nigeria. Forget that one. Glory be to God for that one. But more people see they every say they suffer.
Hmm?
Gone. You know easy. See,
Ain't no easy at all.
you know easy.
People know they people know they ever think of. They ever think of like they ever think of another person problem. And the team be that, and the main talk be that. Like
Yeah.
people know they think of other people. Hey, calm down.
They crazy.
Wait.
They're crazy. Yes, man. I'm on. All right, nice. We're coming down to the end of this episode. Guys, AB is gonna be one of our co-hosts in the future.
Oh man.
Yeah, man, that's my
Big
brother,
honor.
man.
Big honor.
Big homie right there.
Big honor. Big praise come from you, man. I appreciate that. I
Yes,
appreciate
sir. Yes, sir. For everybody that's watching, I will appreciate you if you like and subscribe to our channel and keep making us look good. Keep
it. Keep
watching, keep
watching.
streaming,
Keep fucking with
keep
us.
watching,
I
keep streaming.
promise you. I promise you this thing will get better. I
It's
promise you
gonna
it
get better,
will.
man. We just out here, getting it from the
Yeah,
mud.
we're just trying. We're just trying this thing out. Yeah,
For
we're
real, for real. But
transparent as fuck. We have
hey,
too
man.
high.